Hi there, Victoria here. Moms, I am bringing you 3 exercises that you can do today to start strengthening your core and your pelvic floor immediately postpartum. So these are safe to do pretty much any time postpartum. So in those early days and weeks postpartum, all the way up to many years postpartum, okay? But before we get started, there are 2 things that I want to point out. So in order to have a core and pelvic floor that are strong and function really well, there are 2 things that you have to do. First is learning how to strengthen those muscles through different exercises, breathing techniques, etc. But then the next part is learning how to carry over or translate that strength that you have developed in certain exercises you've been doing into everyday movement. That is probably one of the bigger pieces of the component. Hi ladies, Victoria here. I am bringing you 3 core exercises that you can do just about anywhere, anytime, to help bring your core back online again. So these are pretty much safe to do during those early days postpartum all the way up to years postpartum. But before we get started and dive into these exercises, there are 2 things that I want you to know. So first and foremost is, yes, we can be doing lots of exercises to strengthen our core and our pelvic floor. However, we need to be able to translate that strength that we accumulate or grow in doing various core exercises into everyday movement. So simply just doing exercises for your core every day is not in and of itself the whole picture as to how you are going to heal and strengthen your core and pelvic floor. You have to learn how to carry over that strength that you've developed in these exercises into your everyday movements, into your everyday habits and your lifestyle. All right? So, first exercise we are going to do is one where you are lying on your back. So this one is really great for you new moms who are at home with your baby those first few weeks postpartum, and you're resting, you're recovering, you're lying down a lot with your baby, hopefully, okay? So I'm going to have you roll into position, okay, onto your back. Legs are bent, feet on the floor. I want you to take your hands onto your rib cage, okay, and feel for where that rib cage is. You're going to focus on breathing deep into the bottom of that rib cage, front, sides, and back with every inhale breath, okay? And then the next part is you're going to find those bony points on your hip bones, and on your exhale breath, I want you to focus on bringing those 2 bony points together on your exhale breath. So we're activating your transverse abdominis, that deeper abdominal muscle, to help strengthen your inner core unit. So first, let's inhale. Expand that rib cage. Exhale. And pull these bony parts of your hips together on your exhale breath. So one more time. Exhale. Pull these bony parts of your hips together. So that's your first exercise. You can get anywhere from 5 to 10 breaths, maybe 1 to 3 sets of that exercise. So let's move on to our next one. All right, so for our next exercise, you are going to be seated. So obviously this is another great one that you can do in those early weeks postpartum when you're having to hold your baby a lot, nurse them, feed them, or it's one that you can do when you are sitting around watching TV, you're working on your computer, etc. Okay? So you're gonna have a seat. I want you to sit nice and tall. So imagine you have a string attached to your head, so you're sitting nice and tall. Rib cage down over your hips, so we're not thrusting at the rib cage and excessively arching through our lower back. Rib cage is set down over the pelvis, and I want you to take those fleshy areas of your bum and kind of pull your butt cheeks apart so that you're sitting on top of your sit bones a little bit more. So you're not sitting with your tailbone tucked under, which many of us have a tendency to do. This is a really bad position for your pelvic floor to be in. So we are untucking our tailbone, we're sitting nice and tall, we're sitting on top of those sits bones with our rib cage stacked over our hips, okay? So now, just like the breathing sequence that we practiced in our first exercise, you're going to inhale, okay? Exhale. Lift one foot up on the exhale. Inhale to lower, okay? Inhale. Exhale, engage. Pull those bony spots of your hips together. Lift the foot up through that exhale and lower. So one more time. Good. So when you do this, you should feel a nice big expansion through your rib cage, front, sides, and back on your inhale breath. On your exhale breath, you want to feel a nice lower belly, lower abdominal, deep contraction on your exhale breath, okay? So that is exercise number 2. So we're moving on to our last one for this video. Okay, last video. So you are going to need a wall for this to rest your feet on. For the sake of this video, I'm going to use a bench to rest my feet on top of. And you will also need something like a Coregeous ball, a Pilates ball, a yoga block, or you can simply roll up a few towels together in a nice roll. So now you're going to roll over onto your back. If you were up against the wall, you would place your feet on top of the wall, and you want to get your legs so that they are about a 90 degree when your feet are resting on the wall. So again, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to rest my feet on the edge of my bench, and then you're going to take your Pilates ball or your yoga block or your towels, and you're going to place them between your knees, okay? So now we're adding one more layer, and we're activating our inner thighs, which also helps to engage the pelvic floor more and strengthen the pelvic floor. So let's practice our breathing sequence like we've done in the last 2 videos, or the last 2 exercises. So you are going to inhale, okay, breathing into the rib cage, front, sides, and back. Belly rises softly. Exhale. Squeeze that ball together. And think about drawing those bony points on your hips together on the exhale. And release. So let's do it 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. And squeeze. Release. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze. And release. So there you have it, ladies. 3 exercises that you can do to help bring your core and your pelvic floor back online postpartum. If you have any questions, you can always email me at info@victoriadosen.com, and I will see you later. Bye.